Again, if you want to get in the gaps defensively, you cannot be moving your feet inward. Look at Alperen Sengun here. Feet moving inward. You have no chance of getting out to Christian Wood now, who can just pump and go right into the basket. Alperen Sengun here on this box out, you've got to drive the lower half of your body into Christian Wood because that moves Christian Wood. You're not doing that, so you're not moving Christian Wood anywhere. So this is essentially a 50-50 ball. Okay, if you're Alperen Sengun here, you got to get your feet set. You've got to be in a defensive stance. You got to be able to guard the ball and this player here. See, look at you're backpedaling right here. So now this player's got to step up and backside help. Like, that's a real problem when Tim Hardaway, okay, if you're Terry Eason here, you're not going to be able to guard the ball right here. You're just not. You're backpedaling right now. So you need to identify that now and play on this player's side. Force him into this help here. Okay, like if you play this ball one-on-one, like you can guard one-on-one, that's not going to happen. Okay, so Kevin Porter Jr. on this turnover, like this is the problem with giving up on a play. Like, get back, sprint back. Look at this. You're complaining. Complain or be disappointed during a dead ball. Like, look at this. We got a block shot. You could have gotten this ball if you had gotten back. But no. If you're doubling the post here, that's fine, but this player's got to be ready to rotate. Like, you have to, and this player's got to get here because he's going to have to rotate here, and you come here. But you don't even rotate once. You cannot go under a screen and drop coverage. It's apparent Alperen Sengun's in drop coverage here. You cannot go under a screen like this. If you're in drop coverage and you go under a screen, it is not going to end well. Okay, for Alperen Sengun, again, you've got to get over. You got to be in a defensive stance with your feet set if you want to be in drop coverage. You got to be able to guard the ball and be able to shift over to Christian Wood. You'll have some gap help here, but again, you've got look at this. Your feet are not set. You have no chance of being able to guard Christian Wood as well. If you're Eric Gordon, you cannot go up the gut of this down screen. You've got to this way chase. Like, look at the angle when you go up the gut here. Like, does it look like you're ready to guard Luka Doncic right now? Because you need to be, certainly with Luka Doncic, and you're not. And, that's just not going to go well for everybody. Okay, if you're Eric Gordon, when this shot goes up, your job is not done. Look at this. So this shot goes up. Stop. Your job is not done. Get over here and box out Luka Doncic. Okay, so Jalen Green is late getting over a down screen right here. So if you're Jalen Green is not going to be able to switch this screen. But you know what can happen is Eric Gordon needs to be getting underneath this screener. See, look at Eric Gordon doesn't get underneath the screener. So if he was underneath the screener and Luka Doncic comes this way, you're able to help. But you're not able to do that. So this big has no chance of guarding Luka Doncic. He just gambled. Look at his feet. He's backpedaling now. Stop. So you got to play on his side. This Rockets player is coming over in the gaps. So get on Luka Doncic's side to force him into this help. This player can now stunt. If he doesn't have to move his feet are set, he'll be able to recover, and there'll be no three-pointers given up. But you're not doing that, and that's where this play breaks down. All right, if you're Kenyon Martin Jr. here, stop. The shot is going up. You got to go find your man. He cannot find you. Go box out. Like, look at this. This is not boxing out or even something like it. The shot goes up right here. So these three players that are just staring at the shot need to get back because you're not doing anything by staring at the shot. Now transition defense becomes a real problem when you're just looking at the shot and when you gamble like that. Okay, so the Rockets are trapping right here. This player can't be standing here right here. You got to get up. This pass can't get made. This player can handle this player 2 passes away. But once this pass gets made, now everybody's 1 pass away. If you're in drop coverage here, you got to wait to see where the screen is getting set. Look at this Rockets big here. He is setting up in drop coverage like the screen is being set this way. It's being set this way, and you're nowhere to be found. Have to sprint back. You cannot backpedal. If you are backpedaling, that means you're playing off of your back foot while Spencer Dinwiddie's going downhill with a full head of steam. Okay, so Spencer Dinwiddie beats his man off the dribble right here. That's going to draw help at the rim stop. So this player right here cannot be staring at the ball. Like, if this pass gets made here, you've got to be ready to rotate, and Garrison Matthews has got to come up here. But we need this first rotation. You don't get any of it. Again with the backpedaling. Look at this Rockets player. Get your feet set in a defensive stance. You're just backpedaling while Spencer Dinwiddie's coming downhill with a full head of steam. Eric Gordon's got to get in the gaps here, okay? He's not in a defensive stance. That's not a defensive stance. And you got to move in more. Get your left foot parallel to the block. Because when Luka Doncic comes this way, look at this. This player fights over the screen. He's still not going to be able to guard Luka Doncic one-on-one. He has just fought over a screen. So that's where you need to be here. Now, if your feet are set and you're in a defensive stance, you'll be able to make it out to the corner. There'll be no three-pointers given. But that, your problem here. The Rockets are doubling the post. Why is this player standing and essentially triple teaming? You need to be over here. So this player can go over here so we can rotate. When three people are worried about the ball, there's no rotating or not in any amount of time that is required. What on earth is going on here? Is this player switching? Well, you need to say switch because this player isn't apparently ready to switch. Like, you just switched. So this player's got to stay home. You're no longer able to recover to Reggie Bullock. Hey, if you're Alperen Sengun here, you got to get up. You got to be in a defensive stance with your feet set. First of all, because this is Luka Doncic coming off the screen. But when Christian Wood pops, your feet have to be set. You have to be in a defensive stance if you want any hope of being able to recover. See, look at Sengun here. His feet aren't set. He's backpedaling. Christian Wood is now open. If you want to be in the gaps defensively, your feet have to be set. Look at Jalen Green's feet. Look at how they're moving inward right there. You're not getting out to Tim Hardaway now. He can just rip and go right by you. This player's not going to be able to guard Spencer Dinwiddie. All he's doing is backpedaling here. So that's totally fine, but now we have to set up, like, this player's got to drop, okay? Or this player, really. You got to play on a side is the point. You got to force him. There's help here. If I stunt, I don't have to move my feet. I'll be able to recover. There'll be no three-pointers given up. Same thing with this player right here. But this player's trying to play one-on-one, and when you're backpedaling, that is not constructive to the defensive strategy.